Welcome to the Cognition Courier. This is my first video, so let me tell you the story behind this channel. A couple of years ago, Martin, a friend of mine, bought a 3rd edition Ascension deck building game, and as soon as we played, I fell in love with that game. So easy to learn, so well balanced, each game was different to the previous one, and more things that until now I still love. After a time, most of my friends get tired of it, so we don't play it anymore. In August of last year, Jorge, another friend, told me that he bought it on the Steam store, so there we go again. Ascension is a card game in which you start with 10 heroes and we have 2 classes of resource, runes to buy new cards, and power to kill monsters. The final objective is to be the player with the most honor, what is given to you by the above mentioned. In this channel I will discuss which cards I think that are the best, the worst, why I think that, maybe a couple of interest combos or lore. I think that by this time you should notice that English isn't my native language, and you're right, I'm from Argentina, and I never keep speaking in English for so long, but this is also helpful for me to train this language and learn it better. Without any more preambles, I will rank the 9 Lifebound cards of the Chronic of the Godslayer. In 9th place is Druids of the Stone Circle. This is a 4 runes cost hero that reads as follows. Acquire a hero with cost 3 runes or less without paying its cost, and place it in top of your deck. This card has a lot of weaknesses. Starting with that this card buys power doesn't stack with your other runes, so it only lets you acquire a 2 or 3 cost hero. It also lets you acquire a 1 cost hero, but being realistic, there isn't almost any situation in which that is better than a mystic or an infantry. Continue. It really depends on the center row. If the center doesn't have a small hero, you should buy a mystic in most cases. And talking about a mystic, that is a 3 cost card that can stack with other runes, but it by itself can also buy an infantry as well as the druids. In conclusion, this card is a little expensive for its effects. The 2 good aspects of this card are that it's a 3 honor 4 cost and is a Lifebound hero, but in this list all are Lifebound cards, so for me this is the worst. Moving to number 8, Flytrap Witch. This is a 5 cost hero that when it's placed gives you 2 honor and makes you draw a card. I think this card doesn't deserve a lot of discussion cause it's notorious that this is a weak card, so much that in the immediately next expansion is a new version with lower cost and higher ceiling than this card. Just giving 2 honor for a 5 cost card is too little. On top of that, this hero is only a 2 honor card. Better move to the next one. In number 7 we have Cetra, Weaver of the Stars. I hope that I have pronounced that well. Being a 7 cost bigger version of Druids of the Stone Circle, this hero lets you put any hero on top of your deck. This is also too expensive, but at least it can acquire heroes of its same cost, and if you combine with other expansions you can even acquire bigger ones. But, keeping on this expansion, it suffers similar problems than Druids, dependence on the center row and not being so versatile. Its honor value isn't bad, but it could be a 5 without hurting anybody. If you manage to buy this early, it can win you a game, but I don't recommend it so much. At the 6th spot is Lifebound Initiate, the 1/1 Lifebound hero. When it is played, it gives you 1 rune and 1 honor. Curiously, her stats. I don't recommend to buy it early because it will delay your best card. I prefer buy it when the game is near to finish. The other good reason to buy it is if you are going hard with Lifebound cards. You will understand it soon. At the middle spot is Loan Taker. 6 cost, 3 honor hero that gives you 3 runes. 3 runes aren't a good reward for buying it, but it's better than the previous 4 cards. It's much more versatile than druids, etc., but it's also a rune more expensive than I like it. I really don't want to buy this in the early game, but if you can buy it and there isn't too many options, it's a good one. Finally, we enter to the good Lifebound cards. In the 4th place, Yggdrasil Staff. It is a 4 cost construct that have 2 effects. The first one gives you 1 power each turn, and the second one allows you to pay 4 runes to gain 3 honor. The construct remains on your field until the game ends or if it gets destroyed. So all turns you will have 1 power in short. The other effect is very unlikely to happen, but it's nice to have it, and at the end of the game you can gain 3 points instead of 2 for buying heavy infantry. That was a nice card, but in number 3 is Runic Lycanthropy. It costs 3 runes and worth 1 honor, and is very similar to a Mystic, but just a little better. Its effects read as follows: gain 2 runes, and if you have played another Lifebound hero this turn, gain 2 power. There is absolutely no reason to buy a Mystic if it is in the center round. Also, this is one of the 2 cards in this expansion that rewards you for playing Lifebound heroes. Being a 3 cost 4 resource on play is a beast of a card, but being a 4 resource is only situational, and this is why this isn't number 1 of the entire expansion. Oh, and an extra note, I like this artwork more than the newest. For the silver medal we have Wolf Shaman, the best Lifebound hero that shares stat with the previous one. Its effect gives you 1 rune and draw a card. It's a very simple effect, but it's a powerful card in the early game and doesn't become a brick on the late game. I know up to the Dreamscape DLC and this card have not been power creeped yet, and I suppose that maybe never happens. On early, if you compare it to a Mystic, it seems the same, knowing that the most possible draw is an apprentice, but something that isn't taken into account is that you accelerate 1 card of your deck, so you cycle faster, and if you cycle faster than your opponent, you will get your best card before your opponent does, and this is huge on a game. For the first place on the Lifebound ranking is Snapdragon. This is a 5/2 Lifebound construct that once per turn gives you 1 rune, and if you play a Lifebound hero, it also gives 1 honor. The giving honor effect is nice, and I know that you win collecting honor, but obtaining 1 rune each turn is better. Considering that a game usually lasts near 20 rounds, and each player finishes with more than 60 honor total, obtaining 1 honor per turn is not going to win you a game. However, obtaining 1 rune per turn allows you to buy better cards each turn, so the next round will be much more stronger. Also, if you think having this card 5 turns face up makes it paying by itself, so until mid game, if it is in the center, is the best Lifebound card you could buy. Well, that was all for this Lifebound ranking. I am thinking to post one ranking a week, so if you like this video click on the subscribe button, and if you want to more content like this, leave a like, or vice versa. Do not hesitate to ask me anything in the comment section. I can answer in English or Spanish. If you're still here, I thank you for supporting me. Next time I will review enlightened cards.